it would be easy for me to sit here and blame others for how I see things. And in part, my experience did shape the way I see the world. I don't know if I was born with that sense of loneliness, or if being abandoned by my father and given up by my mother, those two ties that are so essential for the foundation of who we are, helped to shape that. When you're a child, you really don't understand your emotions. You have a sense of what they are. You manifest them through your imagination, through nightmares, through demons, through the things that you can fight, see. And it's only when you're older that you can fully appreciate, and if you're willing to do the work, understand them. But it doesn't change the fact that those wounds are deep, those wounds that have carved away pieces of you, pieces that'll never grow back, pieces that have helped sculpt you into this being that you are, this lie that you tell yourself. For me, that is someone who is not worthy of love, acceptance, affection. That is someone who, despite an ability to connect with people, to work with people, doesn't trust people. Because people only have their interests at heart. And yes, my foster parents, they raised me as best they could. But they weren't really emotionally capable of helping me through the complexities of abandonment, the complexities of childhood ADHD. And a lot of that time processing through long walks in the woods and shouldering that burden alone. And there were people here and there, of course, that got to know me more than most. But when people got too close, that was dangerous. So the people that got too close ended up getting shut down and hurt. And I believe one of the people in question described it as psychological torture. And I didn't really have the courage to be honest. There's a lot of honesty that requires courage. A lot of people think honesty is an easy thing. It's not. Honesty requires looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I did this. This is why. And sometimes it means admitting that I can't change it just yet. I'm not ready to be that person that I need to be. to be loved, to be fully accepted, because I don't know who that person is, really. A lot of my younger years, I've spent doing the larger decisions, what other people wanted. And that comes from fear of rejection, a fear of, well, if I make too much of a fuss, then they're not going to want to deal with me, and they're going to send me away somewhere. And I think on some level I knew that that would destroy who I was, or who I was trying to be. And I really couldn't articulate what those long walks were. They were a way for me to try and find myself, to be in a space where I could think clearly, where it's just me, no distractions. And yeah, some of it was motivated by a need to escape, but I was never trying to run away. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's a lot of my younger years, to be honest, were me trying to find myself, but in the weirder ways. I didn't do the whole, thing that normal boys around there did, go hunting, fishing, all of that. I read. My journey was inward. And yeah, I liked fire too. So that didn't help my case. And I didn't want people to know me. Why should they? They're only going to make their own judgments anyway. In a lot of ways, I'm still like that. There's a bit of arrogance to it. A bit of, they don't deserve to know me. Who are they to judge who I am? I'd like to say it was because of everything I experienced. And in truth, it probably very much was. Some of the harder things I've had to go through, oddly enough, wasn't the arguments, the emotional manipulation, a lot of that. And I did a fair bit of that too. I'm not going to lie. I was not an easy kid. But seeing my sister one summer, and we had a great time. We had all of that, and then her realizing that I wasn't going with them. And she didn't understand why. She just kept saying, why isn't he coming home with us? Why? And she was crying. And I had to stand there and I had to watch. As much as I wanted to go with her, as much as I wanted to help her understand, even when I didn't myself. There was nothing I could do. That happened a couple more times. And then eventually she just accepted it. And that's a messed up thing for her to have to go through, for both of us, but more so for her, because it was like that was being done to her. Like someone was tearing her family apart over and over again. And she wasn't even part of the original situation. Now that I'm older, I understand why it had to be that way. I understand it. But that does not make it right. And it doesn't mean I'm okay with it. It's amusing. I started this expressing the difficulty opening up emotionally. Yet here I am doing that exact thing. And coming to this realization, it does not fill me with fear. I am me. And however strangers respond to that, however people who know me respond to that, doesn't matter. What matters is how I think of myself when I look in that mirror and what I see. That's what matters.